I was looking down the street and literally a salon opened yesterday. And when we looked on that street, it's like now it's like the 15th salon, but all the salons look the same. And I asked the gentleman, so now that there are 5 salons or 15 salons, why should people buy from your salon? Why should people come and cut their hair from your salon? And he said, I guess everyone has their luck, which was very interesting because a lot of people are in business and they think, well, everyone has their luck, which is very dangerous for business if you think about it. So my training today is going to help you kind of detach, go back and say, why do people hire me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then begin to communicate those things. So my training today is going to go through the shocking results that I've just gathered from people who are paying me of why they're paying me, which I guarantee you some of those things I have never talked about. And so really getting these data points is going to help you, one, say things that make people move, help people see why you're not a commodity, and really help people self-select. Welcome to the tribe. And first things first, we have a community on School. It's free to join. You can access all of my IPs for like $110, $50. Because it's my showroom, I want to kind of show you what's possible, what's inside my world, get you in the workshops, actually help you get a client in the door. And then you can decide from there if you want to work for 6 months or 12 months after that. Let's get into this lesson. I'm so excited to share it. So I sent a question out, and that question was like, why are you paying me? People who are paying me now, people who've paid me in the past, people who've paid me like high ticket, like 10K and above. And I said, why did you hire me? Why are you hiring me? Give me 3 reasons why you chose to work with me. And it's shocking because I didn't even know some of these things were happening for them. So the first person said, you made me understand that I don't need more leads, but I need to have the ability to create a small tribe of buyers. A lot of people, and I've probably never taught this or haven't taught these concepts enough. So today I'm going to double down because I feel like now I kind of have like a light in my eye going, oh my God, so that is why they hired me. That is what is important to them. A lot of people on the internet and they're looking for more leads. More leads, more leads, more leads. And this is really what people teach us or what the gurus have taught us is find leads and turn them into clients. What I want you to do is just identify the buyers and get to understand why they're buying what they're buying. So understand buyers, sell something $10, $50, 100 buyers, $100, and then identify someone who is willing to buy that thing. And then get curious around like, why did they buy that thing? What are they trying to achieve? And then move your way towards the lead. Standard market principle or the guru way is get leads and sell your 10K thing. Okay, cool. That used to work, but right now, that can create a lot of friction and it can get you very stuck for a long time. What we do is find the buyers and then talk to the buyers. The biggest thing for people is who are they? What are they doing right now? Like, who are they? Like, how do I even see who is a buyer in my audience? What are they doing right now for me to kind of point a finger and say, that's a buyer? Like, what's the buyer behavior? And what do I say to activate them? What do I say to get them to speak? A lot of people who follow me or who buy from me are what I call silent lookers. They look and look until one day they see the offer they want. 9 out of 10 of everyone who's hired me didn't comment on my posts, didn't like my posts, and I didn't know they existed until like 3 days before they bought from me. So that is what can happen to you. Who are they? What are they doing? Like, how do you know they exist? And what do you say to get them off the fence? If you have lookers and you don't know what to say, you'll never see them. Lookers need an offer, a clear offer that speaks to them. If you don't offer like things publicly, lookers will never buy from you because they're looking for the right invitation, the right offer, the right thing. So that's why someone paid me. Like they were stuck on leads. I said, hey, stop. Let's shift from looking for more leads and let's put on a pair of lenses which allows us to see more buyers. Which was like, that alone was worth every penny I've given you. The second thing, and as I'm moving through them, if something hits you, you have a question, you feel like, oh my God, that's my thing, like I'm struggling with that, or that made sense for me, put it in the chat. Like if you feel like, oh my God, you just hit my problem, put it in the chat or message me, really. Number 2, someone said, you helped me avoid so much cost. My people are best kept secrets. They have a skill, they have a gift, they have something valuable to offer. Not enough people know them. So when you are not known and you feel like you need more clients than you have, you play a different game from Tony Robbins, who says, I want to serve the whole world. I want to, I don't know, Mary Robbins, the Robbins of this world, who are like, how can I impact 1 million people? Why? Because they don't need the money. They don't need clients. They do not need to see somebody in the door this year. They want to serve as many people as possible because they have built the brands, they have built the audiences, and they don't need the money. Now, a lot of best kept secrets look at the Robins of this world and they go, I want to do that. Well, that's cool, but in the same bracket, do not expect people to come and pay you today. I love personal brand. Don't quote me wrong. I'm building a personal brand. Best kept secret is a personal brand. The intentional wealth builder is a personal brand. But I'm also very in the weeds to know that a personal brand needs time to build and do what I want it to do. So alongside the piece of a personal brand, how do we get clients in the door today? A lot of people do this. Like if you're best kept secret, if you're like, I don't have clients, I need more clients, I need more people to see my work, this is most likely what you do. 1, post and wait. Build a brand, post and wait, and people will come. I don't know. One day it will happen. It's happened to me. People come and say, tell me about your offer. But it takes your brand to reach a certain level for people to do that. If your brand hasn't reached that level where people are like kicking back and saying, I want in, then we have to play a different game. Attraction works, but attraction works after a certain level of building a personal brand. I don't know, people don't have a personal brand strong enough to get people to say, I want what you have. And they're trying to play the game of the Robins, which is a good game if you can wait for like 5 years or how many years. If you don't need money, if you're like good for 5 years and you're like, can pay all my bills, I can keep going for 5 years and I don't need to sign a client. That's a good game to play. But beyond the clients, what I find is that if you don't have clients, your confidence is going to start shaking. You don't have clients, it means your content is going to get hard to build. You don't have clients you're helping, it means you're going to start cooking things to say. Because you're now imagining what people want to hear, as opposed to being in the weeds and kind of picking the real sweat and tears and things happening today. So when you don't have clients and you don't have the proof that if you don't have the proof that your stuff works, your confidence begins eating away. When you don't have clients and you start to help people for free and those people don't implement and they don't do the things and they don't meet you where you want them to meet you, then your confidence starts eating away because you're not producing results. A lot of mentors, coaches, consultants, service providers, we are fueled by the lives we can change. We are fueled by the transformation we can give you. So the last thing I can do for myself is try to help everyone for free. Because when I help everyone for free, people won't do the work that I want them to do to get the results that I promise. When people don't get results, over time, my confidence begins to chip away. It's like it begins to dissolve. My content begins to be very watery because I am not producing results. I'm not taking people through my system and seeing how they kind of fall and rise again. So my content is very, I don't know, wishy-washy, inspirational, and not helpful. So I don't know if people do this. They post and wait. And when you post and wait, you can wait and wait and wait until nothing happens. They try and warm up leads. I don't even know whose idea that was. I think personally that it's not a very good idea. They post and wait and then try and warm up leads. I don't know how much I want to say about warming up leads, but what I can say is leads are not created equal, and you don't want to be doing that. You cannot turn non-buyers into buyers. So whoever said warm up leads, that sounds like a good thing on paper, but practically is not. It's very misleading because you cannot turn a non-buyer into a buyer. What I suggest you test is this: find buyers and spend time with them to understand what they actually need, what they are looking for, instead of trying to warm up leads. It's like if someone tried to sell me a fire extinguisher right now. Okay, could I buy a fire extinguisher? Maybe. But right now, do I need a fire extinguisher? Do I know that they're helpful? Yeah. Do I have one? No, I really hope that this apartment has one. I don't have a fire extinguisher, but I know that they're important. Would I spend money on one right now? Maybe, but maybe not. If my house was on fire right now, would I buy a fire extinguisher? Yes. How much would I pay for a fire extinguisher if my house was on fire versus if I was just here doing my live stream and someone was passing by saying, this house might get on fire one day and I need you to buy the extinguisher? That's the difference. You do not need to educate me about fire extinguishers because I probably already know that I need one, but I don't care right now. Like, the way humans are wired, it's like there are things we just don't care about until we have to care about them, until we can't put them up. So trying to warm up leads, in my opinion, not a very good move, especially if you're best kept secret. My stuff only applies if you're best kept secret, which means you actually want clients. You feel like you don't have enough clients. If you feel like you're Tony Robbins and you know you have all the clients and everyone is coming to you and you do not need, let me remove the Prima lens, but I'm still wearing it. But I just want to demonstrate to you that until you wear your lens, I don't know if people don't really care. So let's put this on the side. And I was explaining the point of warming up leads, and I think it's a terrible idea. A lot of people don't buy things until they can't put them on. We all want the nice, I don't know, beach houses, and Marta and I look at houses all day long on the beach, I don't know, costing millions and millions, and we're like, oh my God, this has to be our home one day. We want them, we keep saving them. And maybe one day we'll get to them. Like if you look at my phone, I'll show you some of the houses I'm dreaming about. And maybe one day we'll get to it. Like let me see, like my WhatsApp picture is one of the houses, like a dream house. I don't know if you can see this. That's one of the houses we want to buy. Right now we can't afford this house. But we really love the house and we think we would love to buy one of these. The question is, when will we buy it? How many years later? 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? One day we'll buy some bad boy like this, but like right now, what are we paying for? Right now, what are we depositing on? It's not this house. It is the things that look like a house on fire. Right now, we're paying for our immediate needs, the things that we feel we need. Right now, the things that we feel we can't put off right now. But we still want the house, for sure. But if the person who is selling the house is targeting me right now, chances are they're not gonna succeed. Because right now I'm not actively depositing on the house. One day I will be like house on fire for a house, and the kids are here and we need a home, and bam, we need the home. But right now we feel like we can just move to places, live in nice places, check in, check out, live 30 days, 90 days, depending on the visas. So I hope you get it. Like, there's no amount of warming that is going to happen for me to buy this house right now. So I don't need to be warmed. And the third one is wasting time on people who are not a buyer. Some people are just not a buyer. They're not in the market. So if you find yourself educating people, convincing people why they need your services, you're in front of the wrong person. So I thought this was interesting because she said, you helped me avoid a very costly mistake which I was doing, because I was watching Tony Robbins and Mary Robbins and the Robbins of this world, and I was doing what they're doing. I was, putting out content and waiting. I was warming up leads, and I was wasting time convincing people that they need my services, educating people that they need my services, instead of really just doing the other thing which you teach, which is identify the buyer, spend time with the buyer, invite them into the next. So we can spend so much time doing everything that people are doing. And I'm not saying posting is wrong. I'm not saying building a personal brand is wrong. There's nothing wrong with all these things, but the time and order in which you do them matters. You could spend years and years trying to build your brand, which is cool if you're not trying to bring money in the door. If you can generally live 5 years without a client, then by all means, keep doing what you're doing. But if you are doing these things and in the same time you're hoping to make money this year, then we need to think a different thing. What we do is we position you as that fire extinguisher that doesn't appeal to mass, but it is only appealing to the 1% of people whose houses are on fire. So your positioning and messaging in the marketplace will tell people if you're a house on fire, if you're like a fire extinguisher, or our dream house that we're trying to buy. The dream house is nice, and one day we may get there. We will get there for sure. But that man is not going to make money from us in the next 12 months. But maybe one day he will, or we'll find something else. When we are ready, we will seek the solution in the market at that point. So avoid the costly mistakes of playing like the big shots when you're a best kept secret. If you're trying to play a Robin game, when you clearly know you need clients, then maybe we just need to rethink that game. Okay. Number 3, someone said it was such a relief when I understood that I do not need to sell to anybody. I just need to invite the right people. The shift from selling to invitation. I don't know if I've talked about that enough, but being able to shift from selling to people, hard selling, you need to buy my thing or die, to I'll invite you and you can say yes or no, and all of those things are fine. And just avoiding the maybes, because let's face it, maybes for babies. So are they a buyer? Are they not a buyer? All those answers are pretty fine. Are they a buyer now or a buyer later? Because you can say yes to buy the thing. You can say no. And I'm like, cool, she's not a buyer. Or you can say, Prima, right now is not the right time, and we can do a wait list kind of thing. But at every time, for me, it's clear. These are buyers, these are non-buyers, these are buyers later. There's nothing in the middle. And there's no forcing, nothing. It's just an invitation. Yes, it's fine. No, it's fine. Not right now, it's fine. In which case, there's a wait list in time X. Would you like to build that? It's really clear. So like most people, if you struggle with sales or you hate it or you have a very strange reaction towards sales, I am willing to bet that you're not bad at sales, but you've been taught the wrong way. Make them buy. Say this and they'll buy. You feel like you're taking advantage of someone, or you are really getting someone to do something they don't want to do. When you start to look at it as I am inviting people into something that can change their life, and they have a choice to say yes or no, they have goodwill to come or not come, then something switches for you and how you sell. It's like divine guidance. It's like the universe, God, Mother Nature. I don't know who you believe in, but there is always like a calling. There's always like a path you can take. There is always something inside you that says, you're made for more and you need to go out there and serve people. And you have goodwill. Like you can say, yes, I'm answering the calling, like I have, like you have. But also there is someone who hasn't, and that is okay because they have a choice to choose. They have goodwill. So sales, the way that I see sales is like that. I make an invitation and you're welcome to say yes or no. You still have goodwill, whether you buy the offer or not buy the offer. So one person thought it was very helpful for them to stop trying to sell and start inviting people. Is any of this helping you? If it's helping you, let me know. Comment or something. And at one point, if you feel like, oh my God, I need to dive deeper, there's a link in my bio that takes you to my school community. And the best way to get in my world and see how I operate is to just join the community. I don't have a lot of free stuff there because I feel like you can have the free stuff here on my feed. You can go to my YouTube channel and get coaching for free. There's a lot of free stuff in the world, and my community is not one of them. My community has my IPs, has my daily insight. I share my daily insight with people. And it has like my system, the 2K client system, how to make 10K, how to make 2K today, 2K per week, 2K on any day that you want, on demand. That system is then broken down into different pillars. And each pillar you can buy for, I don't know, below $100. There's a lot of workshops you can come to. And in those workshops, I take a part out of the system and I teach it and support people through that part. So if you want more of, I want to implement this thing, then the thing to go to is the community in school, Best Kept Secret, where you can kind of go in the classroom and pick what you want, come to that workshop, and then I can help you implement it. And if you like the experience, then we can talk about mentorship and how to support you further. Let's go to the next point. Someone said, you helped me uncomplicate my business. Funnels, landing pages, long form sales letters, I don't know, AI, what, automated email sequences. So many things that people think need to happen before a client comes through the door. Get on the next podcast and on the next summit and write another post and oh my God, do this thing and do this thing and do this thing. The truth is, if we're looking for 5 to 10 clients, we can do it without all those things. If you are below 10 clients and you're going, okay, I need clients, you don't need any of this stuff. What you need is eyes, maybe a privileged lens, Maybe you need another set of eyes. And you literally just need to put these things on and one, use them to see who the buyers are. Like, who are the buyers? Where are they? What are they doing? And how do I activate them? Two, sending 3 to 5 messages to invite them and see if they're in or not. These are the 3 messages. Hey, so-and-so, I saw that you had done X, Y, Z. And I was wondering if you're looking for help with X. They go yes or no. And you're like, cool. Before I even get into the conversation, can I ask a few questions? Or is there anything what specifically are you struggling with when it comes to doing this thing? They tell you, and you decide in that moment, based on what you've shared with me, I feel like this thing over here, which I've created, might be helpful to you. Now, that thing can be free, but it can also be paid. I have spoken to people who never talked to me and I said, based on what you're telling me, I think that message code would be really helpful for you. Where I show people how to unpack the idea that they are becoming a monopoly of their own idea. It was a workshop that I did 3 weeks ago, however long it was, and people paid $100 for that workshop. Right now, it sits in my community, and without the hot seats and implementation, it still sells for $100. I was wondering if that would be a nice gift for you. I could hand you the thing and you could go through it. I could open access for you and give you 72 hours and you could kind of study it and see if it helps. Would that be helpful to you? And most people are like, oh my God, thank you so much. I opened the thing. 72 hours later, I lock it. And that is how I get them off the streets into my world. Because I want to help them. So, what do you need? Remove complication. Put on a pair of lenses that kind of allows you to spot the buyer. Get the skill to create a friendly invitation into what you have. Take people off the street into your world. Next. This person has worked with me for, I don't know, 5 years or something. They've been paying me for the last 5 years. And what she said is, I keep working with you because you don't give me stuff to watch. But it's clients who work with me and they could watch one training and that's all they needed. So what I do with mentorship clients is I say, okay, cool. I want you to go through just this thing here. It's 30 minutes and that's all you need. And I want us to just get stuff done. What she appreciates is that my offers are installed. I install the thing for you. You want a new message, you want to revamp your message, no problem, here it is. Here are the questions. Tell me about this and this and this. Here's your message. I'm not going to ask you to go through 100 videos because guess what? You've spent thousands of hours already trying to build your avatar and build your message and who knows, write attractive content and no one cares. What we do is we take that off and we do install. Here's your message, go. Here's your offer, go. Here's your marketing, go. Install. I got it. Get the information, do it, hand it to you, go to market. I focus on doing more than I focus on people learning more. Most people who work with me have learned and learned and learned and learned and still have no clients. So in my world, unless you're very new, I don't want you to go through all of the things. I want you to probably study one thing and focus on it. I want you to do more doing because whatever answers you want right now are in the market set, waiting for you to do. Take aligned action, get data, use the data to move. I offer support as and when people need it. So close-up support as and when people need it. We sit, we decide what we're doing. I go do my stuff. I spin things for you. Okay, we've installed your message, here it is. We've installed your offer, here it is. We've installed your marketing pieces, here they are. We've installed your big idea. Here it is. Go. And people come back to me and say, okay, I need to talk through this thing. And I'm like, cool, what are you struggling with? People literally go to the market. And this is also something that came from a client. They go to them. Now I have like a sheet. You go to the market and you just feed in your data. So I shared this message here. This was a response. This is my offer. I sent to this person. This was a response. And what I do is I kind of have like a column for the interpretation. What the market is saying to you. Because most of my clients like don't know how to how to read the data. So if someone is struggling, say for example, with offer, people are not buying. I go, okay, let's decipher that. Here is the system. They go in the system and they say, on this day, I met this person here. I sent them this offer, and this is what happened, and this is what I said, and this is what they say. And there's a column of me going, okay, let's decipher that. These are the pieces, go do this, and they go do it. And I didn't have that system until one of the clients really sent me the thing and said, can you help me comment on the last column? Because I don't know how to interpret what people are saying. I sent this person the offer. They said they were interested. They read the offer and they said I sent them the payment link. Now they are ghosting me. And I go, cool, let's decipher that. Like, what does that mean? I gave this person the offer and they didn't say anything. I asked this person if they wanted help and they ghosted. Or there's different pieces that get to happen when you get in the weeds and you can get lost in the insight and people are not buying. Some of the people are not buying, people are talking, but you're not able to interpret the information. So I bring my endless data points, thousands and thousands, and I kind of go, okay, we met this person here. Before we met them, we shared this message. So this message brought this person over here. Okay, cool. And then we said this thing, and this person bought the thing, or I don't know, bought into the idea, and they said, I would love to see the thing. Now, what happened over here is this conversation where they said, please send me the offer. You sent them the offer, and now you're being ghosted. Or you sent them the offer, they said, I would love to buy it. You sent them the payment link, and now they're ghosting you. So we kind of go and say, these are the data points, and this is what we are playing with over here. So I really liked that because she was like, I don't have stuff to go through. I'm taking aligned action, and we're gathering data, and we are tweaking the data on the fly. Everything you're looking for lives and dies in the market. So if you're spending time, I don't know, with AI, trying to build the best, I don't know, content, and you're spending time tweaking your offer over and over and over again, and you're spending time revamping your website and revamping your messaging, doing all these things, these are the good things, or they look like you're doing things, but what really matters is get in the market and take aligned action. Get the data and begin to work with it. And that's really what I do with people. I've been in the market, I've bought everything, I've done everything, nothing is working. All right, let's stop learning. Because you've learned and learned and learned, and the last thing we need is you more learning, because we're not trying to make you a professor. I hope this is helping someone. So let's install the thing. Let's take it to market. Let's get the data and let's interpret the data. I thought that was really cool. And I've never really talked about this piece because I feel like the information is there, but do you really need more information? And most of my people don't. Most of my people need like a shift from this thing here to this thing over here. They don't need a training and a portal and thousands of hours. They just need to know, how should I think? What is another way to look at this thing? What am I not doing right? Because they're writing content, because they're sending offers, they're getting on podcasts, they're getting on summits, but people are not signing. So how do I need to start thinking? What's the lens I need to wear, if it makes sense? 6, this person said, I knew I didn't have a skill issue. I knew I didn't have a delivery problem. I also didn't have a confidence problem. I know that my stuff works, but still people are not buying. And when I understood that I had a visibility issue or a positioning issue, that was helpful. Let me even circle this because I think I need to create an email around it. So she didn't have an issue with like talent, skill, confidence, because she has done this in the past. She's done stuff offline. She's like a healer. And she said, I've done a lot of things, so I know that my work gives results. But when I came online, I was challenged because people were not seeing me the way people offline saw me. Offline, she's like the mayor of the town. She can cough and people are at her door. But it's gotten harder and harder and harder after COVID. That most people, even in her neighborhood, now prefer to buy things online, even if it was like next door, people prefer to still go online and buy it. So she was like, I knew my stuff worked, and within me, I knew people wanted it, but I felt like the right people were not seeing me. What she had was like a positioning issue. When you're positioned wrong, the right people won't see you, which is the same thing as I spoke before. If you're selling fire extinguishers, you're only seen by 1% of the people who need a fire extinguisher for whatever reason. If you're selling a fire extinguisher and you're in front of people who don't need it, you'll feel like no one is buying. So I felt like that was really a very good piece there. And one that I think is very important. The best offer won't sell itself if it's wrongly positioned. Literally, the best offer will not bite, it will not smoke if it's in front of people who don't see it. And people see value differently. Like, I'm beginning to learn that there is people who buy information and people who buy coaching. In the past, I got frustrated with people who are buying more things and more things from me, and I never bought coaching because I knew that if I sat with them on a coaching call or I don't even like the term coaching. I just like mentorship because I'm really helping you avoid the mistakes I've done. I'm really just taking you through the pieces I have done myself. Coaching, I see the coaching bit, but I don't like the responsibility and labels that come with it. So I like mentorship. I have done this and I'm going to help you do it. So what I began to understand is that people's problem is that they are selling the wrong things to the wrong people. There's people in my world, they come in my world and they buy things. Buy this course, and they buy these many things, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, they buy a workshop, but they never pay for coaching. Because they don't pay for coaching. They just don't value coaching, but they value stuff. These are people who buy like membership type offers. You get all the trainings, you get all digital access, and they're like, oh my God, I want it. But there's also people who are like mentorship buyers. They want customized support. They want access to you. They want to know how you would think through a certain piece. And these people are just people who buy access. They buy to condense time. They buy for like, I want to see how you would see this piece. If you try to sell mentorship to information buyers, you'll be frustrated. If you come in my world and you just want the latest thing and the new thing and the new thing and the new thing, you'll probably be more frustrated than if you were looking for mentorship. I do have a warehouse. You can for sure go in and buy all the workshops, which I think would be the same equivalent. But I don't believe in get my 5 years of information because for me, that's overwhelming in my head. So I tend not to lead with it. But then information seekers are like, where is the other thing? And where is the other thing? And can you give me more training and more training and more training? And I'm like, how much training do you need? The truth is, there's people who believe they can go through stuff and figure it out. These people are information buyers and they just buy information. There's also people who just buy coaching, consulting, and mentorship and because they want to condense time. So it's on you to kind of identify who these people are and who they're not. So you can put the right offer in front of the right person. So her thing was that when she could position herself as like a fire extinguisher, then the right people came. And maybe it is the thing that you need to. We have 3 more to go, 7. Someone said, I was undercharging and I didn't even know why. I thought I had blocks. Spiritual person as well. I thought I had blocks and this is why I was underpricing. What I understood is that I was in front of the wrong person. Something. You can undercharge, you can get objections about price. You can get people saying you're ridiculously priced, but really because you're in front of the wrong person. You're in front of the wrong person. And I don't know if I can say that even like, there's nothing more I have to say about that. The wrong person won't see the value. An information buyer won't see the value in coaching and consulting and mentorship. They just want to learn. For whatever reason, they want to learn. There's people who don't even want results. Matt has clients who just want to learn stuff. And sometimes I'll ask him, like, what is the goal of this person? Like, what are they like? No, they just want to learn stuff. He'll have people who just want to learn from him. They just want to get better. They just want to learn. And they're not trying to say, make me 10 grand. They don't want 10 grand. They just want to be better. They just want to leave an impact in the world. They just want to leave their footprint in the world. They just want to stop playing small. And they don't want a monetary result. They're like, I just want to learn. If you try to promise those people 100K, they won't buy it because they don't value the thing. So you can be underpriced and you can be fighting with price and you can be going, people are not buying because you're trying to sell Prima a Ferrari. I wouldn't know what to do with the gears. I'm not a car person. You know, if I'm going to buy a car, I just want safety and I just want it to not break. If you take me to a point to buy a car, you'll be frustrated because I am not trying to buy anything fancy. And it doesn't matter how much money I have at that point, I am just not a car person. So if you give me a Ferrari, okay, you might go, it's this and this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, I don't value that stuff. If you try to sell me makeup, I don't know, could be the best brand and the best makeup, and I could look like God, you know, get in the God zone or whatever, but I don't wear makeup. I don't value makeup. So it doesn't matter what the makeup is and what it does. And, you know, if it's waterproof and all, I don't wear makeup. So I don't value makeup. But if you were to sell me wine, you could put a price tag and I could go, yeah, I'll probably try that. You could say it's $100 and I could be like, I want that because I value wine and the wine experiences and the edge of wine and all of the things. If you're selling me fragrance, I love perfume and I have like preferences and it needs to be like this and like this. I pay more for that. If you sell me 30 minutes, actually last week I coughed 3 grand for 30 minutes. I pay for time, like consulting stuff. That's valuable for me because the person I'm paying has the result I want. So if I sit with them 30 minutes, chances are something will come out of their mouth, which is my next 7 figures. So I don't look at it as 30 minutes. I look at it like, what do they see that I cannot? If you're trying to give me everything Tony Robbins has ever built in terms of courses and stuff, I don't care. Like, I don't have time to go through thousands and thousands of courses. In fact, I don't have time to go through anything that I don't need. So you can struggle with price because you're trying to sell the right thing to the wrong person. So for her, it was like just getting in front of the right people who need my services without me trying to charge cheaper or explain to them why this thing has to be this much. And that, I think that point leads me to another point, which is most people lead with don't do sales calls and don't do anything other than Google Docs and, don't do anything other than an automated AI, leverage selling, all the things. But what I find to be the actual thing is don't spend time with people who are not buyers. Don't spend time with people who need convincing. Spend time with people whose houses are on fire, and that sales conversation sounds and feels different. A lot of people attack the mechanism. Okay. It's the sales call, it's the DMs, it's the email selling, it is the VSL, all the things that people say, you're going to do it without doing this thing. Okay, you can attack the mechanism. But I do think that what I found more helpful is to go, don't spend time with non-buyers. Find non-buyers, remove them, focus on the buyers. So go in the world, put on this lens, look at the buyers, get them off the streets, get people off the streets into your world, and then begin to spend time with buyers, because buyers feel different. Buyers have a different vibe and a different response, and there's no selling happening. They just need to be clear, what are we doing? How are we doing it? How long is it going to take? How much do I need to pay? Buyers are tired of their problem and they want to solve it. And that conversation looks different. I keep telling a story of our wedding month, which was November 2022. Matt was in ICU twice. For some reason, his pancreas was acting up. He was in ICU twice. Now, we lived in Mom's Town. Mom's Town has no ICU. The hospitals are minimal. And you could die from that if you're looking for an ICU. We had to drive 7 hours into the city to find an ICU. And every time I entered IHK, I had to pay $1,500 without speaking to anyone. This is an ICU case. Deposit $1,500 and we'll get to work. Your patient just arrived in time. And any minute you spend haggling is going to cost a life. They don't even talk to you. You just look at your patient and you're like, my God, we don't have any luxury of time, negotiation, or anything. So I reached the hospital and I would just bring $1,500 and put it there without even knowing what is the problem? Are we going to make it? How long do we have? I had one problem. My house was on fire. My fiancé was dying. And I didn't care how much it cost. I didn't even care if I had the money. Because now it became a family problem and everyone was just saying, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? So it wasn't even about if I had the money or didn't. It was a problem that we couldn't put off any time longer. And the conversation with me was just how soon can we get into ICU? I didn't even care where the money came from. So if you're having conversations with primas whose fiancé is on a time clock, then there's a different conversation to be had. That it doesn't involve manipulation, doesn't involve convincing, it doesn't involve cajoling, it doesn't involve explaining why and reducing your prices, because you're sat with a different person whose house is on fire. Second last, this person said, Prima, I have tried everything. I have had the coaches. I have been on the shows. I have sent the docs. I have sent the emails. I have built the lists. I have written the book, bestseller, and I still struggle to see $100,000 a year. What was most helpful, or why I pay you, and this person has made more money than I have made, which is funny. One, I love the install. I love that I don't need to go back and learn offer again, or message again, or avatar again, or whatever, because you just do it. I have learned from the best. She's learned from the Robins, and she's still struggling to sell her offer. So does she need Prima to teach her how to do the offer? No, Prima just do it. I have written offers and I'm just tired. I know how to write them, but people are not biting. So what am I doing wrong? Your ability to install, your ability to refine, simplify, and tweak things. A lot of people have done so many things. And what we need to do is kind of go, remove one piece, tweak it, and they're off. They've done this piece and this piece and this piece. They have all the pieces, but maybe they're missing one shift. And that's all they need. But for you to find that shift could take you years and years, or you could sit with someone who's really done this for, I don't know. I have spent so many hours troubleshooting broken systems than I don't know, than most people I know. You can sit and find that thing and tweak it, and you're off. And you may not even need me after that, but you will need me to find it. So you said your ability to install stuff for me, like I knew how to write offers, read the books. I know like how to get things done. I have read the books. I don't know 100 million offers. Anyone that has read that book can write an offer, a good offer, a brilliant offer, 100 million leads. Anyone that has read the book can get leads. They know how to get leads. People have taught content and content and content with ChatGPT and all the things. Anyone can write content. There's so many things that people can do right now. But doesn't mean they work. Doesn't mean people will buy the offer. Doesn't mean you can see the buyers. And it doesn't mean that you're doing the thing that you need to do to get people to buy the thing. So the ability to get stuff installed for them. Sit with me, ask me questions, do the thing, Prima. I have just done too much. I am tired and I'm willing to pay you to do it. All right, Sally, here's your message. All right, Sally, here's your offer. All right, Sally, here is your plan to relaunch yourself. Go. Prepare for this. Simplify. The ability to simplify everything. Strip away all the complexity and get people in the door. The ability to tweak. Like just the ability to make one shift, Prima. Like for me, I could get to it someday, but you just saved me so much time because I don't have to. And I don't have all the pieces, for sure. But I have enough time in the weeds to kind of see what's being thrown at me. Like, okay, I've seen this before, I've seen this before, and sometimes I haven't seen before, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. I can't see the points, but this is what we're going to do. This is the system. Give you a spreadsheet. This is column 1, column 2, column 10. Fill in these things as you go, and I'll kind of look and kind of see what bounces at me. They go to market. They do this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. And then I see something and I'm like, there it is. I see the problem. I'm like, hey, this is a thing, do this thing. And like, I've tried everything, but like, there's this one thing that needs to be bolted. And the last one, there's a client for him. This thing was 128,000. He was already doing things, thousands of clients at that point. We made one shift and in 28 days, 32 days, he made 128,000. One tweak for him. I told him, you have the pieces, go watch that video. It was called Off on the Fly. If you've worked with me, you know what Off on the Fly is. I said, go watch Off on the Fly. It was 20 minutes. And 32 days later, that was 128,000 to him. So the power of tweaking, the power of knowing where to look, the power of focus, the power of knowing, like, what is the thing I need to focus on? Someone thinks that's priceless. And lastly, my biggest reason why I keep paying is you help me understand the shifts. What shift was this? Shifting from more content to more conversations with buyers. Yeah. Most people don't have a content problem. They have a buyer conversation starter problem. So a lot of people write content and they can write content till the cows come home. A lot of people write better content than I can write. But the bit they're missing is they're not starting conversations with buyers. They don't know who the buyers are. They don't know how to activate the buyers. They're not having conversations. And even though they are posting and they're getting engagement and they're having hundreds of comments under their things and people love them, people are not signing because they are not very good at creating conversations with buyers, not leads, buyers. The shift from content creation to starting conversation with buyers, that was worth it for that person. And I'm going to be using these pieces from time to time because now I see why people pay me. And what I can say is if you're ever stuck on anything or unclear of anything, just talk to the person who's paying you. If you're ever trying to make a decision between this message and this message, let's give it to the person who's paying you and say, hey, which one would you pick? And just go with that. If you want to do it, like create the things and just bounce it off your people who are paying you, and you will be surprised what you receive. What I do hope that we manage to cover in this conversation is, I hope I gave you an idea of how to look into what you do and decide, like, why do people hire you or why should people hire you? I hope that I gave you that. If you can sit down and write down the reasons why people hire you, it may help if you start talking about those things in conversations, in emails, in content, and other places. I really hope this has helped you. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my God, Prima, I want some of that. One, the place to get most of my pieces is inside my school community, because I really show you my IPs for, right now, everything is below $100. Only the system, the 2K client system, is 500, and then it will be 1,000 and then 2,000 because it's a 2K system. So the actual price when it's all built and done will be 2K, but right now it's 500. That's the only thing that is above $100 inside the classroom. You can get in and you can begin to jump on the workshops, the different workshops that talk about all the pieces of the 2K system. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. my time, I have the 2K workshop, which is a workshop that is going to talk about how do you get a client in the door in the next 72 hours if you needed or wanted one. It's called the 2K client, but your client can be 5K, they can be 10, they can be 20, and they can be 100K. It doesn't matter how much the client is worth to you. 2K is just a price that is dear to me because of the fact that it saved my mom 5 years ago. So I just like the price. There's a workshop where I'm going to be going deep into how to identify buyers. What are they already doing? Like, how do you know who they are? How do you activate them? What do you say to them to see if they are a fit? And how do you get them to buy your thing if you want, if they want? So and understanding buyers, identifying who they are, inviting them, and what to say to turn that invitation into a client or non-client or wait lister. Second thing we're going to talk about is the invitation, which is exactly how do we invite people? What do we say? What don't we say? And is there any follow-up needed? And how do we do that? So if you wanted clients in the door, if you wanted 1 client or 5 clients or 10 clients, and you didn't want to do all the things, I don't want to do another thing, I don't want to do another landing page, I don't want to do another speaking gig, like I just want to sit down and see people in my program or my container, whatever the thing is. This is like phase 1 of the 2K system, which is, okay, we're best kept secret right now, and we know we want clients. So let's first create leverage for ourselves. Let's just be in a place where we don't need to sign anybody out of need. You're like, I need a client. Oh my God, I need a client. Like, let's get out of that. Create leverage for yourself so you can begin to kind of build the parts of the system. A lot of people try to build all the parts of the system, but if the system doesn't have fuel, which is cash flow, then we're going to be falling short. Internally, things are going to start dissolving and falling apart. Doesn't matter how good your message is, doesn't matter how good your heart is, doesn't matter how much guidance you're getting from divine. 365 days later, when no one is signing for your offers, internally things can begin to feel different. So in this workshop, I'm going to help you understand how to create clients on demand if you want them. And then you can decide if you want to build a system that keeps doing that for you. And you can decide how much you want to push, because we can get some clients and we can repeat the process, and then we can take hands off and kind of do some leveraged selling and leveraged delivery where you're like really increasing the value of your time. It's really up to you. But for you to get into the workshop or into future workshops or any real practical, tangible application type stuff, you will need to enter the community, which is the Best Kept Secret community on School.